Hello and welcome to the Impact Zone podcast, TNA fam. We are back again to talk more TNA wrestling shenanigans, and we're going to talk about a spoiler. And though you may have seen from the title and the description, I guess, from the thumbnail, what have you, what this is about. I guess, like, therefore you already know what we're talking about. We're talking about, apparently, Lang Lee has won the TNA women's title, the Knockouts Championship. What? First of all, what? Like, what the heck? Like, now, like, besides, like, there's like 1,000 things to get into here, but like, what is like my first reaction? So that like, what? Literally, what the heck is going on here? And I literally do not know. I literally do not know. Like, what is this something to do with what's happening in NXT? That's my question. You know, is this because they promised something, or WWE promised something that they then went, oh shit, sorry, we can't, actually commit to this person, or we can't commit to this thing, or whatever else it is that we said we were going to do, or what have you? Or is there something else? I don't know. What have you? But this is BS, man. The way this was handled is BS. Like, I'm like Lang Lee. I don't, like I said before, I didn't think that she was in the position to be a champion yet. So I don't know. And this is just such a bad way to, like, again, the whole hot potatoing the title now. Like, this is such a bad way to execute this thing and say, okay, well, now we're going in this direction, or whatever it is. Like, oh my friggin' God. Like, this is what I mean by, again, just like, I have no clue what you're freaking doing. Like, if this was the plan, again, stop. Tell me the story. Show me you're building Lang Lee up, and she's going to win the title, and she's gonna become one of the top people there, or what have you, whatever it is. Like, that's what you've got to tell me, and what you've got to show me. Not just, oh, she won it. What? Why? Like, you know what I mean? Like, no one was invested. No one was invested because this match was just announced like a few weeks ago, whatever it was, and all of that. So, and it's not going to be broadcast, I think, until next week or whatever it is. So I don't know what's going on with that or whatever, but still, like, this was apparently, this is from this has been all over online. So the thing is, it's like, this is already going to be out there. So it's unfortunate that, again, this was taped, and there's a lot of things, like, same with TNA. This is why you can't be having taped shows, because, like, things like this will get leaked out. So you just cannot have taped shows at all. That ruins everything. So yeah, like, I'm sure a lot of people know about this, but I have to cover it. I have to talk about it. So yeah, like, so I'm probably, and I say, probably not like the first person, and probably won't be the last person to come on and talk about it. I think they've done Lang Lee, like, if they were going to put her as the champion, they have done her dirty. Like, maybe there was some extenuating circumstances in that, or whatever else that you could say, but, like, realistically, like, no. I like, unless it was a serious injury or something, or she, like, what's her name? Kalani Jordan is pregnant or something like that, and she needs to step away for pregnancy reasons or what have you. Um, she should have continued to uh, wrestle, continued to be the Knockouts champion until the point at which it made sense for her to drop that belt. You know, it made no sense for her to drop that belt now. Um, you know, barely a month or whatever into her run. Like, maybe it was something like of saying that, you know, they kind of saw something in Kalani and they were like, oh shit, we were wrong about this girl or whatever. Now we've seen this, and then they were like, quick, you know, we've got to put her onto to this thing, or we've got to move her over here, or we've got to do something else with her, because now we've got a good idea for her to actually do something, or whatever, just based on this or whatever, I don't know. But like, Jesus, this is terrible. Like, absolutely terrible. And that's like, I don't know whether it's WWE behind this in saying, hey, you know, this is what we want, or this is the situation, and hey, you've just got to take it, unfortunately. So, like I said, I don't want to put the blame onto TNA for the most part. Like, a lot of things that revolve around NXT and things with NXT have fucked up a lot of TNA things over the last like couple of years, and they've, you know, moved a lot of things into this more ADHD booking mentality. And it's like, yes, you, like, again, you kind of need to push things more quickly in some regards, but you can't just forget about saying, this is our plan for 6 months, or whatever it is. Like, or this is our commitment for 6 months. We're not just saying, oh, we're going to give you this person for for a month or whatever it is, and then they're going to lose the belt or whatever. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, why even do it then? Like, instead of Kalani Jordan having won this belt, why not just put it on Laying Lee then? Like, you might as well have not done this whole thing with Kalani Jordan. You might as well just said, let's put it on Laying Lee. You know, or whatever. But obviously that wasn't the plan at the beginning of this. The plan was, okay, we're going to give you Kalani for a few months, whatever it is, and then she's going to reign, and then whoever's going to beat her, whatever. But, like, beyond just, like, the fucking hot potatoing and the ADHD booking, again, like, there's no, like I said, there's no build up for Laying Lee winning this thing. Like, obviously there's not, because, like, again, as I said, there was no real build up. Like, they just announced this match. Like, yes, sure, you had Kalani versus Laying Lee and whatnot a few months back or whatever it was for the title at, was it at Victory Road? No. Was that, it was, wasn't, when was it? No, it was a Bound for Glory, wasn't it? Well, I can't remember. It was at the pay-per-view, wasn't it? No, it was at the, yeah, it was at Victory Road. Wasn't it? I don't know. Yeah, because you had Bound for Glory was Indy Hartwell and Kalani. Okay, yeah, well, that's right. My memory sometimes, like, but yeah, like, so maybe a bit more than a month she's held that title. The last person from NXT to hold that title held it for about a month as well. Like, And the Hardys held the NXT titles for like a month. The tag titles. Like, I'm sensing a pattern here. Like, the only person that was in there for more than a month was what's his name? And held the title for more than a month and whatnot. It was like Trick Williams. So it's like, you know, like that's the one outlier. But the thing is also, just about every single match and every single thing that happens between TNA and WWE, for the most part, is a 1 month thing. Like, for the most part. Like, either one match or for 1 month. Like, that's like the biggest thing that they've done had been Trick Williams. That was the longest sustained, you know, presence of a wrestler and story and angle and whatnot that you actually had. And that actually worked. Why? Because you didn't rush it. Because you didn't just go, let's pull the trigger now, you know, and whatnot. Yes, maybe there should have been a few more times that you tried to pull the trigger and actually had Santana in the main event and things like that. But again, you needed that heel champion for that to be the right circumstances. Maybe you should have had a match against Moose, like when he was champion. Like, I don't know why he didn't. Like, maybe you have the argument of saying, oh, well, actually, he did have a match against Moose, didn't he, at some point? Like, you have that argument of saying, oh, well, he would have lost, and he would have lost momentum. No. Like, yes, he might have lost, and he might have lost some momentum, but, like, the key there would have been to say, okay, we're going to transition you, you know, back up again. We're not going to just forget about you. We're going to give you something else to work on or something else to work with. We're not just going to forget about you. We're going to keep you in the mix, even though you lost and there was circumstances and whatever else. You're still chasing the title. Now somebody else has it. There's something else going on, whatever else it is. So you've got to keep them in that picture. At least I think it was Moose that I'm sure he had a match against Moose at some point. No, because like maybe it was like last year. I don't remember. But anyway, I'm trying to remember other things now, but it doesn't really matter. Like, honestly, like, again, like, I want to strip back just a little bit and say congratulations to Laying Lee, because it is important to say, hey, you know, does she deserve this? I don't know. In some ways, maybe yes. Like, you know, but congratulations are in order. You know, like, you know, even in this ADHD booking environment, you don't win a title, you know, just because, you know, it's Tuesday and it's time to win a title. So it's one of those things that you get, like, you've got to get these things together. You've got to get, like, and that's what I mean. This is why I'm saying, again, you know, we've got to get away from this WWE deciding things and whatnot and saying, you know, this is the script or whatever else it is, or this is the direction we're going. No more. No, because you guys cannot keep if you guys cannot keep something straight for 6 months with us, then there's no point in doing it. Like a significant change, I mean. You know what I mean? So if you, you know, if you decide to say, like, we're gonna do this thing, okay, or we're gonna have this person on your TV, okay, cool, great, or on your pay-per-view, whatever it is, cool, great, cool story. We want them to win the title. Nope. Why not? Well, in what is it? I don't know. You're what? I guess I'll cut off the Hardys winning their titles because, but then again, like, I don't know. I really don't know because like it's their titles, so they can do what they want with their titles. I think like when it's defining our titles or our division, I think then it's like, no, you cannot define our titles or our divisions or what we do or why we do it. You know, if this was from TNA itself, then those guys need to stop listening to the ADHD booking mentality and say, okay, cool, this is where we want to go, but we've got to take steps, slow steps, to show that that's where we're going and to build to that's where we're going. Not just, oh, we're there now. Like if this was a story, and again, this is where you were going to go. You've blown through 6 months or even a year worth of storytelling. If this is what you wanted to do from the beginning, why put the belt on Kalani? Like, there was no point in all of that. And then, like, again, the two challengers of M by Elegance and Heather by Elegance made no sense with Kalani, who was trying to be this new heel. And now you're going to put it onto a babyface. So surely they would have known that. Why are you putting against heel? Though the idea of saying, oh, well, their faction leader held the title last, what have you, da-da-da-da-da-da. So that is the only way we can go about things. And that's maybe, again, why she was more of a babyface, not completely a heel in TNA as much, because they were kind of trying to, not errata it, but they were trying to go, okay, well, we need somebody to be a little bit more sympathetic or whatever else it is, because, well, Heather and Emma are heels, so it is going to be a bit of a clash or too hard of a clash, and we see her as more of a face or whatever else it is, as far as a character or whatever. But then again, it feels like WWE would be saying, no, this is where we want her, or this is how we want her, or whatever. That or TNA would be like, hey, while she's working for us, this is how we're going to present her. So, I don't know. But that decision was taken by WWE in a WWE space with the TNA approval. So again, this is like anything that is done here, even saying, oh, well, it was done with their approval or their, guys, don't just nod your heads and agree. Don't just, agree to everything that they say, do this for us. Stop letting them control everything. They don't own you. You don't have to do everything that they tell you to do. It's your title. But again, perhaps, as I said, we don't know the circumstances. They probably, again, pulled her out and said, oh, we just realized that she's actually really good because finally we gave her the chance to be good or to do something different, or whatever it is. I don't know. Now we're changing directions and we're going to do this. So I would say, based on the, 4 different championship reigns that have happened between TNA and WWE, you're 1 for 4 with those title reigns being successful or impactful or meaningful or anything. Because the Hardys, JC Jane, and now Kalani Jordan were all basically meaningless. They were all done within a month or so of winning the belt. And yes, you could say, oh, well, this is like the unpredictability of wrestling or whatever else it is. Yes, you have to have those unpredictable moments, but you can't just be like, hot potato, 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 hot potato. You can't just, like, the same thing happened with the NXT title in the last couple of weeks, where they've done that. I'm not going to talk too much about their thing, but they've done the same thing. Like, they put it, like, I think actually putting it on Tatum at Halloween is kind of like, oh, that's kind of cool. That, that's her moment. She's all spooky, wooky, and whatever else. So it's a cool little thing to say, okay, we're going to do it at Halloween because that's, thematic or whatever else it is. To just then go back to the other way and say, oh, we're going to put it back on JC, for no real reason. Whatever. Like, because it's hot potato time to toss that potato, We don't know what else to do except hot potato, hot potato. Oh, hot potato, hot potato. Like, the only thing we know how to do now is just change the belt as quickly over as possible from one person to another, so that, again, people can't get bored of what we're doing. People can't follow what we're doing because we're constantly changing the title. Their title's probably changing as we speak. Oh, and it's just changed again and again. Oh, look, it's just changing and again 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 and again. It's going to change a million times before we even finish this friggin' podcast episode, bro. Because that's what they do. They just don't know what to do. They just like, well, whatever. We're going to move it on to the next thing. Because people are probably bored of it by now. When it's just been like, it's been 5 minutes. What are you doing? Even if you're, like, thinking that everyone that you're, like, presenting your show to is, has ADHD, you've still got to think, like, how are you going to present them a show that, is booked more long-term, not just booked by, like, the dime dropping off of a hat or whatever, I don't know. But yeah, like, that's where I'm at with this, bro. Honestly, so I guess now I have to look and think and try to figure out what you're going to do from here, because, like, and again, like, I could start to say, let's consider some NXT people, but I'm over considering NXT people. I really am. I'm over it. Danny Luna, maybe. Like, you've actually got that, number one contendership coming up, so she's in that, isn't she? I'm pretty sure. Who's in that number one contendership match? Who is in that match? If I can find it, I will find it. I will find it. I will find it. I will. That is, I'm not going to not find it. I am going to freaking find it. No, I'm not. I'm not scrolling through all of this to find it again. I am literally finding this. Like, that is it. I am not screwing around. No, I am not going through all of this, all of that stuff. Well, I've seen one of them, but I haven't seen the pair, which is a bit annoying. So I'm going to try to find I know I have seen it. I know it has been recent. Ugh. Where is it? Why you no show me? Why? Why is it so hard to find? This is ridiculous. Bro, like, maybe I can find it on Facebook quicker. Oh, stop that. Let's see. God. Am I gonna find it? Am I gonna find it? Am I gonna find it? Ever, ever, ever. Come on, bro. Jesus. Why can I not find this? This is ridiculous. This is so ridiculous, man. This is so stupid. Why I not find? Why, man? Okay, here we freaking go. Fucking finally. Jesus freaking Christ. That was ridiculous. That I could not find that till just now. It took forever to freaking find. So, there are 2 fatal 4-ways that are going down. Now, I had no clue. Obviously, I had no clue who I thought was winning any of this because I was like, no, surely no one is winning any of these because these, like, the matchups and the people that are in them, like, make not a lot of sense, but what have you, whatever. I will go through them. Right, Danny Luna, Indy Hartwell, Rosemary, and Myla Grace in the first one. Zaya Brookside, Victoria Crawford, Killer Kelly, and Jody Threat in the second one. So, I believe that whoever wins each match will face off in a match to determine the number 1 contender. Will face off in 2 weeks, and the winner getting a TNA title shot at Final Resolution. Okay. Which is in like 3 weeks. Or something, I think. No, it's in like 4 weeks. No, it's in early December. So it's like, no, it's only like, it's only like just over 2 weeks away. Whatever, Jesus Christ. So we're not even going to find out who it is and who's going to be facing the champion until basically the night before, and then you're like, whatever. Okay, whatever. Myla Grace is a tag team person. It's not going to be her winning. I don't feel like it's going to be Rosemary. Rosemary's been relegated to being in that jobber status. And she really hasn't had anything to do for a long time. So I don't see it being Indy now because, like, I wouldn't see that you would have to push a babyface that much. But then again, like, at a certain point, like I said before, I thought that you were kind of going to go back to her. But, like, you might want to have a babyface on one side of this and a heel on the other. But whatever. I don't know. I feel like it could be Danny Luna, so I don't know. But still, like, you just had Indy win against Danny in that hardcore match. So, or whatever. So, like, and I said before, you might want to keep that rivalry kind of going. But, like, if you're going to go with Danny, like, getting to that position, I feel like then you've kind of got to, I don't know, you've kind of got to, like, automatically go back to her and Indy as well. So then you're then trying to put the belt on Danny to then go back to, like, feuding with Indy. So, I don't know, that feels like that's not the right decision to make. I don't know. So, like, yeah, that one's, like, kind of hard to, like, work out. Like, it's interesting in some ways, the other side, because I feel like Victoria Crawford, I don't see winning this at all. I don't really see Jody winning this. And I don't really think I see Killer Kelly or Zaya winning this either. So it's like the other side of the coin feels like no one's winning. No one has much to go off on, really, except for maybe Zaya, like, because she's like Laying Lee's tag team partner. Like, so you can build that, like, oh, are the tag team people gonna fight now or whatever type thing. I don't know. But yeah, it's so weird. Like, this is such a weird, like, number one contendership situation that I'm just like, what? Like, I feel like in the first match, you feel like either Rosemary or Myla are the ones that are going to take the pin. And it could be Rosemary because, like, if you have Rosemary take the pin, she can blame somebody and miss somebody, and then she can kind of go off on a feud with that person or whatever else it is, which would make sense for it to be kind of indie. But then again, it's like, well, that kind of takes away from, or might take away from, like, the fact, like the whatever, like they've already, like, Indy and Rosemary have already feuded, Danny and Indy have already feuded, so like there's not much place to go there, and I don't really see Danny and Rosemary really feuding. So, and Myla, really, I don't see anything there for her. She'd be like the most outlier winner. Like, she's a more tag team person, and she really hasn't been there very much. So, like, this could be a showing out party for her in some ways. That'd be kind of cool for her or whatever. But, like, yeah, I don't really see anything for her. Like, Victoria, like, I hate to say these sorts of things about some people, but she's old hat. So, and people, like, didn't really, like, have never really gotten on her bandwagon, like, realistically, which sucks for her. Like, so, but I just don't see her, like, you could almost see her in that role. I think her, like, being that mentor kind of character that she's now doing is kind of cool. And if she was the champion, it'd actually, like, be like the champion's mentorship type thing. So that would kind of work, but, like, I don't really see that for a while. So, and, like, again, I feel like she's more there to, like, she's already made her name, so it's like, you know, or mostly, so it's like, you know, you can't do much more with her that would really, like, make people go, oh, wow, you know, or whatever. This person, like, she's a legacy act now, like, in many ways. Not to say that she's old and washed up or whatever, but to say that she's, you know, she's already been to that mountaintop, realistically, and, like, you're probably never going to get her, like, back to that position that much again. Like, you could put her in that position, but she'd only be in that position to elevate somebody else. So, and again, like, if you're thinking about, like, again, you could do it the other way where she just gets the chance to face Laying Lee, but, like, she's now been moved into a more tag team position. So, like, again, you're pulling her down the card a little bit more. Killer Kelly hasn't been on TV in weeks or even in months, barely. Jody Threat just recently lost that match to Dani Luna. Like, she hasn't really done a whole lot. Like, the person that I see the most with here is Zaya, because at least, like, you have that, looming threat of tag team partners breaking up or whatever underlying. So, like, but I just don't see that that's something that you should do too quickly. Like, they've only really just formed. So again, like, if you're gonna put a like little bit of a tripping thing in their way, they're always going to come up short, or they're always going to be at each other or whatever else for having beaten the other or whatever, so I don't know. So it really, like, then I start trying to think, like, maybe Victoria's since she might have Tessa, she might be the person that could win it, because, like, Tessa could help her win. But who would eat the pin? That's my, like, question here. It's like, it feels like no one can win, but also almost no one is, like, as far down at the bottom of the barrel as to be like, this person is just in that position of day job, that's what they do. Maybe Victoria, you could say that, but I don't know. Yeah, it's tough. It's almost like, yeah, you could almost put her into both positions of saying she's either gonna job or she's gonna win. Like, I don't know. So I don't know. But yeah, like, this is at Final Resolution. Like, and then you've got to be thinking, okay, what about Genesis? Then what about, like, whatever's next? You can't just be thinking, like, next week, 2 weeks, whatever it is. You've got to be thinking always further down and whatnot. So again, if you're looking at, like, the roster overall, besides those people that have already gone through, maybe you have Alicia Edwards. I really don't think that makes any friggin' sense. Whom else? Harley Hudson doesn't make much sense. Heather and M by Elegance, maybe, I don't know. You've already given them a chance at the title. I don't really see that. Like, so yeah, I don't know. Jada Stone, she really hasn't been there for very long, so I don't really see that. Gee whiz, I wish Kylan King was in the company, but she's not. I like Marsha Day, but it's the wrong position for her. Myla Moore, it is kind of interesting, but also you would need to kind of build her up at least for a little bit. And you've kind of already kind of put her in a tag team or almost faction situation, so I don't really see that. Maybe you could. Maybe Tasha Steelz. Maybe. But again, you'd have to build her up for a few months at least, like, to make people think she could be in that position. Maybe you could put Tessa in there, but I don't have a problem with it, but I think a lot of fans do. So I don't think you should do these things just to keep provoking the fans or keep trying to, kick that ball out of the park or what have you, whatnot, and that sort of stuff. I think you should just, like, finish up whatever you're doing with her and move on. And that's pretty much it. That's all the people that aren't in this match that could be. Like, yes, you got the Inspiration, you got Steph DeLander, but I don't know whether Steph's actually wrestling anymore or whatever. I don't know. And the Inspiration, I don't really see them in that position. They're a dedicated tag team, so yeah, I don't know. And the rest of the people are either injured or don't make sense, really. Like, you could say, oh yeah, like I said, Elisha Edwards or whatever, I don't know, it doesn't make any real sense. Harley-Hudson doesn't make much sense either, as I sort of said. Who was I thinking about? It was somebody here that was on the board. Now I can't see them. Somebody with a name and a face. Yeah. Nope. I don't know. So yeah, whatever. Maybe I had a thought, but I think it might have passed through it. So yeah. So where are we? Whoa. November. Oh no, what am I looking at? I was thinking I was looking at something else. Anyway, whatever. No, I don't know. My dude. But whatever. Guys, this is the situation we're in. So like I say, I cross my fingers and I hope that they like settle down or things settle down, and that somehow, some way, we stop having to listen to or have the goddamn WWE frigging hijacking everything all the friggin' time. Because, like, this is what becomes of it. Unless they're literally committed, literally in writing or whatever, or, like, again, whatever. Because, like, they've made, like, a couple of handshake agreements. Because, like, I'm sure that TNA wasn't, like, or fairly sure at least, that TNA wasn't, like, told initially, this is our plan for 1 month, this person's going to have it, and then this person's going to, drop it to this person, and then we'll go from there. I'm sure that was not the plan as it was drafted up. I'm sure that these are things that have changed on the dial, so to speak. So, and certainly the Ash by Elegance, vacation, I think that was a, on the day thing. And I'm sure that, like, the second time around, like, they wouldn't have done the same thing to be like, yeah, this person's going to be a champ for, like, a month or whatever, and then this person's going to win it. Okay, cool with you, bye. Like, I'm sure that wasn't, like, the initial plans or the initial thoughts or the initial pitch or what have you for this thing. I'm sure it was like, yeah, we'll see where we go, see how things, go, or whatever else it is, whatever. So, but yeah, I wouldn't trust them now. I just would not trust them, because, like, if they said, oh, we'll give it 3 months, we'll give it 6 months, whatever it is, or even, like, we'll just see how, we'll play it by ear a bit or whatever and see how things go. Nope. 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 Sorry. I would be sick of this. Like, if this was the plan, then even more so. I would be like, nope. We're not doing that. We're like, we're not the company of ADHD, where titles change every few seconds and whatnot, and nothing means anything, and whatnot. We actually have overarching stories, maybe like we should, like, again, here and there, pull some triggers or do some things that, you know, get people into the positions a little bit earlier or a little bit more often or what have you, that sort of thing, whatnot, all sorts of things. But still, you've got to look at saying, okay, this is where we're at. This is what we're doing, and this is who we have. And this is what, you know, this is the path, this is the plan, this is it, you know. So, and like, I don't know whether the payoff, like I said this with the payoff between like Eric Young and Joe Hendry. I was like, that match should have been at Bound for Glory. And I again feel like, well, WWE, you know, went in there and said, nope, sorry, nope, he's going to be our superstar soon, so nope, he ain't doing that. You know, he can do it on TV or whatever, but nope, not at Bound for Glory. Which is what it should have been. It should have been one of the most major matches on the show. And yeah. Nope. If you guys say nope to us doing what we're meant to be doing on our shows just because it appeases you, then we're not listening anymore. You know, we're like, you can send us your guys, but like, or whatever. And if they want, or if you want them to stick around here or whatever, they're here for more than a few weeks, cool, great. We don't care. Right? Okay? We are not going to let them win in any significant manner. They can be in title pictures, they can be in title matches, they can do some things, they can have long-term feuds with people here and whatnot, but no more. We're not going to let them win titles anymore or anything like that, because every time that we let that happen, a month later or whatever it is, you guys are saying, oh no, sorry, we can't commit to what we said before or whatever it is. Maybe the Hardys, you can give that a flick because, again, as I said, you know, I think that was mostly done to drum up some business or some interest in the Hardys versus the Dudleys for one last time. So, but yeah, I really don't think that it worked. And again, you should have just said, let them keep those belts for a few more months or for a few more weeks or whatever it was, and then we'll do something proper or whatever it is. Yeah, so that's what you should have done. Or you should have just never had them win the belts to begin with in that case. Because it was a waste of time. But yeah, anyway, guys, those are my thoughts on this. Don't want to be, as I said throughout, I try to say throughout this, don't want to be completely negative on this, but yeah, it kind of sucks mostly that WWE continues to be like not that helpful in this, like with regard to, you know, the hot potatoing of the titles and the title scene picture and just dictating things, you know. So, but whatever, it is what it is, guys. So we cross our fingers. We hope to build for better. We hope to see better and whatnot. So we can only hope for the best and try to, you know, say, hey, we want the best. You know, this is what we want. Not just, you know, that whole thing. You know, this is what we do want. But, you know, a little bit more clarity or a little bit more consistency or whatever with it. That's all. But yeah, guys, I hope you have enjoyed it, and I hope you will join me again in another one.